Good evening and welcome to the Will to Live with Crochet essay. Today we're going to be talking the beginner's guide to crochet. So I began my crochet journey about 5 years ago when I just had a calling, I think is what I can best describe it as. I just saw something being crocheted and I was like, that looks interesting, I want to give it a try, I want to see if it's something that I can do. So I walked into P&A, I picked up a skein of yarn, which just so happened to be a grey color skein of Charity, and I looked at the label and it said that it needed a 5mm hook. So I went over to the hook section, I grabbed myself a 5mm hook, and that's all I walked out with. And you know what, I've never been able to just buy one skein of yarn since. And everything that I taught myself was by using written patterns that I didn't even fully understand at the point, some YouTube tutorials and that, but all I was getting was sort of how to do the stitches. There wasn't really anything that I could find at the time that explained to me what is the best way to approach crochet for a beginner. And that is why I've decided to make this video today, so that you guys don't have to struggle the same way that I did. So first things first, where does a complete beginner who has never even touched a skein of yarn or a hook start? I would say start by picking up a skein of yarn and a hook, and then you're just going to want to find tutorials on how to do a single crochet or a double crochet, and as you progress you can then even go into a half double crochet or even a treble crochet. And right now, if you're completely new, these words might sound like Greek, but as you get into it, it'll become second nature. What these tutorials are going to teach you are the basics and the fundamentals of the actual stitches that are used to make patterns that can then be used to make the products that you would like to create. So you want to figure out how to do single crochets and double crochets, and what you want to do is do that in a rectangle so that you can sort of get a feel of how to hold your yarn, how to hold your tension, how to hold your hook, right? Because there's people that hold their hooks like this, like me. I'm a knife holder, you hold it like this, and then there are people who hold it like a pencil or a pen like this, and my mom does this, and it is completely normal to hold it either which way. It's comfortable for some people this way, some people like myself, I can't even imagine holding it like this, it's just weird. But for some people this is weird, so it just depends on you, and you just have to play around with it and find what is comfortable for you. You also need to get a hang of how to hold your tension. If you are holding it so tight that you cannot get your hook through the stitches, then you need to ease up a little bit, leave some space so that there is enough space for your hook to go through. It can cause a lot of hand pain and joint pain if you do hold a very tight tension. You also don't want to make it too loose, because then you are going to have a very loosey-goosey project where it's going to have a lot of holes and gaps in between, which is also not ideal. And once you've got those basics done, because I can promise you that rectangle is not going to have a straight edge in sight. It took me so long to be able to crochet a rectangle that had, first of all, the same number of stitches, because you go from having 20 to having 19 to having 24. It happens that way, and it just gets better with practice, and that is the only way it's going to get better. So you have your little rectangle, and because of the number of stitches changing, because of your tension changing for any number of reasons, your project will sort of concave and convex and go in and out, and the edges are just not going to be straight, okay? And that is completely normal. For a beginner, it is completely fine. That is why you don't want to commit yourself to a project from the get-go. It is so much easier when you don't have anything specific that you're committing to, and it's just a low stakes attempt that you're doing, to actually be like, you know what, the mistakes are fine, it's okay, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this to learn, nobody's judging, it's okay. And you know what, it is. Number one on our list of things to explore today is, of course, yarn. As a beginner, you're going to want to look for something that is not fluffy. You're going to want to stay away from chenille, okay? This is beautiful. It is great if you want to make plushies and amigurumi and even scrunchies, but For a beginner, this is going to be your worst nightmare. And the reason for that is because it is so smooshy. When you are doing it, or when you are doing stitches with it, you can't see where the holes are to put your hook through. A lot of the time, people who crochet with this type of yarn are going off a feeling of what feels right. And of course, if you don't have the rhythm of it as yet, you're not going to know what that is, and it's going to frustrate you to no end. The second thing that you want to stay away from is dark yarn or really bright colors like a neon orange or a neon yellow or green or anything super bright that is going to be super harsh on your eyes, because again, crocheting with something like this is as good as crocheting blindfolded. Okay, it is so difficult to see where your stitches are. It is so difficult to know if you're putting your hook in the right place. And again, when you crochet with something like this, it is a lot based off of feeling and whether you feel like you're putting it in the right place. But yeah, maybe save this for when you've got a little bit more experience and when you've gotten the hang of it a little bit more. My next tip is to stay away from splitty yarn, and by what I mean by that is something like this, right? As you can see, just by holding it loose, you can sort of see the fibers start to come apart there, right? If you look at the loose end, it is in threads. It is not held together at all. And what that means is that when you try to go through it with your hook, it's going to go through those threads and not grab the strand as a whole like that. It's going to sort of, if I can give you an example, it's going to go through it like that, which you don't want. It's going to frustrate you. And how you can tell the difference is that I've got a splitty yarn and a non-splitty yarn, right? And this one you can see the end is held together. If I hold it loosely, nothing is sort of falling apart or coming apart or social distancing from each other, unlike this one, right? Stay away from this. You're also going to want to choose the weight of your yarn very carefully. I would recommend the skein, right? So the plus points. It is acrylic, it is soft, it is going to be easy on your hands, it is going to be versatile, it is going to be easy to work with. It is not splitty, right? This is the one I just showed you guys. It is not splitty. The color is light enough that you can see what you are doing. And yeah, overall, it is a beginner-friendly, easy-to-use skein of yarn. This is the L pull skein. However, Charity is just as good, and I believe a lot of people are also talking about Chick, which is stocked by Checkers and some ShopRites, which I haven't tried myself, but I believe it is quite good as well. Next up, we're going to be talking hooks. Every crocheter obviously needs a hook, but what you do not need as a beginner is a set of 13 hooks ranging in sizes 2.5 millimeters to 10 millimeters. Okay, you're not going to be using any of the hooks below the 4.5 and any of them above maybe the 5.5. So do not waste your money on things that you are not going to need. High-end hooks are great if you are someone who is crocheting for hours and hours on end, if you're someone who has made it a business, if you are someone who wants to invest in the comfort of crocheting, great. But as a beginner, when you're just starting to figure out whether or not this is something you like to do, it's not something you want to put a whole lot of money into, right? So my advice is one of these, right? It's just a metal hook. This one is a 4.5 millimeter, and it's just an ordinary hook, right? It doesn't even have a comfort grip or an ergonomic handle, but it served my purpose, okay? It got the job done. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to learn how to crochet in an uncomfortable way. In fact, some people find using this more comfortable than something that has an ergonomic handle. And again, that's just something you're going to figure out over time and with practice. But this serves the purpose, and this costs maybe 15 Rand at most if you buy at a local yarn store in your area. It is not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and it is practical in the grand scheme of things. So for hooks, it's relatively simple. No fancy stuff, no crazy sets, no need for professional crochet equipment. It's great when you get to that stage, but as a beginner, it's just not necessary and it's just not budget friendly. Now, for notions. On Knit Talk and Crochet Talk and every other kind of platform where knitting and crocheting is popular, there are so many gadgets and gizmos that are advertised as making it easier for you, and it's so great when you can crochet with these things. But are they actually necessary? Please do feel free to take my opinion with a pinch of salt, because I obviously have all of these things. Sorry guys, it is cold and I need my hot water bottle. But I obviously have the things that I'm about to show you. But these are things that I have accumulated over a period of 5 years. In fact, more so in the past 2 years than I did in the beginning. But here is what is actually essential and what is just nice to have once you get into crocheting or knitting. So first up we have the yarn spinner. And how this works is that your skein of yarn sits on there, and then as you crochet, it sort of feeds the yarn off of this. As you're pulling it, it turns and it unravels it so that it feeds it to you in a very uniform manner. Sorry, it is nighttime and my lights just died, so you're gonna have to deal with the low light for now. So this is nice to have. It is great. It works fantastically, especially if you do not want to deal with the bath, the yarn bath. I forget that this is a beginner tutorial. You may not know what I mean when I say yarn bath, but basically when you try and get the other end, which is on the inside, and you sort of fish in there and you try and pull it out, and then it just comes out as a whole big mess, and you don't want that. So I guess, yeah, it is a good beginner friendly tool, but it can get a bit expensive. So I got one of these for my best friend for her birthday, and it cost about 200 rand, 250. Actually, I think it was about 300 rand if I'm not mistaken, at the local yarn store. However, I got this one on Temu. It spins fine, it works fine, it's great, it serves my purpose, and it was about 50 rand. So if you're keeping an eye out for the Temu yarn haul, this is something that you can add to it as well. Okay, so that was the yarn spinner. Next up we have the yarn winder. And what this does is it takes your skein from something like this, and if you'll give me a second, I will fix that later, and it turns it into something like this. So from this to this, okay? And for me, is it necessary? Absolutely not. Okay, where it helps me is if I need to frog a project and I don't want to sit there and like be winding it up into a ball manually. Yes, I still have to go through the cranking motion to do it with this, but then at least it's a little bit neater. Like this was done using the winder. And I guess if you wanted to feed a bit easier, if you don't have one of these and you need it something that you can pull from a little bit easier than this, because what happens with this is as you pull from it, it sort of flops around and it jumps from the couch to the floor to the dog's bowl, everywhere. So yeah, if you don't have one of these, then maybe this is a little bit more practical, or a more practical choice in that case. But if you have one, I don't really see the need for another, especially as a beginner. Next up is something that the jury is still out on. These are tension rings. They are super cute. That one was upside down, right? They're like little peacocks. But the idea of them is that they sit on your finger, whichever finger you want to put them on, and it helps to control the tension that is being fed to your hands when you are crocheting, so that you're not holding too tight or too loose tension. But these didn't really work for me, right? But this is something also that I got maybe 2 or 3 years into it, when I had already started crocheting and I was already able to manage my tension on my own, and it was just more uncomfortable. than not having it on, and it just became more of a nuisance. And what I have here is 4 of them. So if anyone who comes to my coffee and crochet workshop wants a tension ring, let me know and I will add it to your little package, because honestly I have no use for it. So one man's trash is another treasure, I guess. So yeah. So like I said, the jury is still out on the tension rings. Maybe it is, a lot of people say that it is helpful, it is good for them, it works for them, but for me it's just not something that I took to, so I don't really feel the need for it. Another one is yarn bowls, and this is something that I did buy, but something happened to mine. I think it was like a plastic 3D printed one and it cracked, and yeah, so I don't no longer have one, and I haven't reinvested in another one because it didn't really serve my purpose. If you have one of these, if you've made a cake using one of these, there's no real need then for an additional thing to feed you your yarn. The yarn bowl just becomes another something that just sort of lies around. And honestly, there are multiple hacks of how to make a yarn bowl using things that you have at home already. I've seen people thread the yarn through the holes in a colander. I've seen people put those little clampy paper clip things that have like the arms. I've seen them put that on the edge of a bowl and then feed the yarn through that. I've seen people put their yarn into a plastic bag, poke a hole in the plastic bag and thread the yarn through that. So there really are ways to make a yarn bowl at home without actually having to invest in it. So if you want to use the budget-friendly option and try it at home, great. I mean, obviously no harm, no foul. But again, not something that is 100% necessary, not something that you need to invest in. I'm just a very curious person, so I'm gonna want to try it all. I would like to say that it's for research purposes, but I want to know. The next 2 are essential to a degree, especially one, which is stitch markers, right? So I've got these that are sort of locking stitch markers, so they work sort of like a safety pin where you sort of click it out and then you can lock it closed. Okay, these work great. These serve their purpose. They are so inexpensive. I think you can get a pack of 10 for like 5 rand. It is super cheap. What I think you don't need rather are the super expensive ones that have like the charms on it. And yes, it's super cute. It is absolutely adorable, especially if you get ones that sort of fit your aesthetic. Some have like little cats on them or dogs on them, and they're super cute. But what I feel happens sometimes is that if you put a heavy stitch marker on your stitch, sometimes it can drag it down in some places and mess with the overall look of your project, which is not something that I personally like, so I tend to stay away from those. But even if you don't want to invest in these, right, if you have an earring, one of those hook earrings, you can hook it into a stitch that you want to mark. If you have a bobby pin, if you have literally anything that can just hook onto or close onto something. I've used curtain hooks, guys. It basically works the same, and I used curtain hooks for a while. They're actually quite effective and super cheap as well. The next thing that I think that you definitely do need are needles, right? One of the most important parts, yet the most frustrating parts about crocheting or knitting a project is weaving in ends. And you may not get it now, but when you do, you'll come back and you'll be like, actually, yeah, it is like just you've run the whole marathon and it's like the last kilometer and it's an uphill kilometer, you know, uphill to that finish line. That's what it feels like. But when it's done, it's super satisfying, and there's nothing worse than doing a poor job at it and just doing a lazy job of it and then having your ends peek out when you're busy wearing your clothes or your blanket or whatever out somewhere, or you know, chilling at home on the couch, and then you just see one end of yarn just sticking out in the corner. So yeah, that's when it becomes worth it. That is the point that you think, yeah, no, I should have spent an extra 5 minutes just weaving in those ends. So yeah, that brings us to the end of my beginner's guide to crochet, the absolute basic tips and tricks and what you need to just get you into the crocheting door, you know. Really nothing fancy, it's really not expensive, it's really not something that you need to budget for. Of course, when you get to my stage and you have so much yarn but you always need more, then yes, budgeting does become important. But just to start out, it is an amazing thing to do. It's something that I started doing because I am quite an anxious person and I tend to be very fidgety, and this just helps calm my mind. It helps to de-stress. It helps me feel like I've accomplished something. Nothing is better than finishing a project and feeling like I made this, like this. I made it. And nothing is better than when you wear something out and someone is like, where'd you get that? And you can be like, oh, I made it. But yeah, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. It is something that I will recommend till I'm blue in the face, and I'll keep going. So I hope that this inspires you to actually get up, do it, go buy the yarn, go buy the hooks, go buy the stitch markers, or don't. Use the curtain hooks. No judgment here. But just to get up and do it. You really aren't losing out on anything. And you know what? If you can't pick it up, if you can't get the hang of it, that's also fine. You know, some things aren't for everybody, but at least you know that you've tried. And who knows, you might actually end up loving it and it might become your whole personality like it's become mine. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Sharing is caring. Send this to your friends so that you can all crochet together. And I hope that I will be seeing you in the next one.